And we're back. An HTML form is used to collect user input. The user input is most often sent to a server for processing. Now, this particular form that we're going to create is just going to be a presentational form. It's not going to do anything because we need to enable you to use like JavaScript to make your buttons and your forms more interactive. So we're just going to create the form and the button to see what it looks like, and then later we'll come back to forms to show you how they actually work by being interactive, using them in addition to HTML, also adding some CSS and JavaScript to make those buttons and those forms actually work. But as you can see here on the left hand side, you have the code, and then on the right hand side you have what your form looks like. So the first thing we're going to do, we have a H2, says H2 HTML forms. We're going to add the form element, and sometimes when you are working in Visual Studio Code and you type a word and it automatically gives you the rest of the code, sometimes all of that code you don't need. Okay, in this case, I don't need the action, the exclamation mark, or the semi quotation marks. So I'm just going to take those out. I just want to stick with form, and then I'm going to click in between the opening and closing form, and I'm going to type label. And for this particular label, we're going to say text. Okay, and inside of label, we're going to type first name. Okay, and we're going to use a colon. Now sometimes you might see something like this. If I hit refresh, now I'm good. All right, so just to, if that scared you a little bit, just refresh your screen and you'll get back to where you need to be. So your label is usually what the viewer looks at, what they see when they see your form, and then we're going to type input, and for this we'll also say text, and as you can see, it automatically gives you like this box here. Okay, so we have label, which gives us the information on the name, and then the input, this is where you would actually type something inside the input. Okay, and so we're going to just add another label, and I'll just say text. As a matter of fact, we're not going to put anything in the label. We're going to keep the label as is. Let's just keep it as a label. Okay, and this is going to be last name, and I'm going to add a BR here so that I can put it on a separate line. Let me add another BR, give it a little space. All right, and then for input, we'll say text. And so now you have first name, last name. I'm gonna put the BR after the first name and also after the last name. So after each label, we'll have the BR text there. And then we have our form, but we're also going to add a button. So I'm going to just type button, and we'll say submit. And now we have a submit button. I'm going to add a BR above. We'll just put it here. Okay. All right. Actually, let's take that BR out because it doesn't show. We're going to add the BR after the form, the closing form. Okay. And so now I have the submit button. So if I type, let's say I type my name and I click submit, nothing actually happens because again, you need some JavaScript to make this more dynamic. but it does give you an opportunity to create what a button is, and gives you the foundation for the HTML. Now we're going to look at radio buttons. This is a different type of form. Radio buttons let a user select one of a limited number of choices. And you've seen this a lot of times in like multiple choice questions and things like that. All right, so we are going to add a paragraph, and I'm going to say choose your favorite web language. All right, and then we're going to add our form. And again, in this case, we don't need any action, so we'll delete that part out. And this time we're going to put the input first, and the type is going to be radio. Okay, and then after the type, we're going to say label, and where it says for, we're going to just type what's going to actually be inside that particular radio button, HTML. And I'm going to put a BR tag at the end of that. We're going to go back to input, radio, and again, control enter, label. We'll say CSS, add a break tag, and we're going to go back to input, add another radio. All right, and we're going to add another label. We'll say JavaScript, and we'll add JavaScript there. Let's capitalize that right there. All right, so as you can see, we have radio buttons now. Let's add our button. And let's put a little space in between, and there you go. So now we have a radio button form, which allows us to select certain items. In this case, nothing happens when you select these items. Again, it's just so that you'll understand the foundation and how to create it. Later on, we'll look at some JavaScript and also do some styling in CSS.